Hi, I'm Dino. I run ParkFilms. I made the Rosie P. I'm going to talk about it now. Woo! Alright, this is the first one, the first song on the project. It's called Alice. Now, why is it called Alice? Why Alice? So, I wanted to give the song kind of a country vibe. Kind of take me back to the Midwest and sort of remind me of things from back then, back when I lived in Michigan. And I never knew anyone named Alice. I was never really friends with anyone named Alice. I was never romantically acquainted with anyone named Alice. Alice just felt like the right name for this to me. And so that's where that came from. Something that I've gotten feedback from people in the server when they listen to it, they say that it goes on for a little bit too long. And there's actually a reason for that. So when I made the song, when I was creating it, I was putting the samples together. What I really wanted was to record some vocals over it. So I put together the instrumental, I put it in Audacity, and I tried to record some vocals, and I realized I had no idea what I was doing. I had never written a song like this before. I was very not used to that process, and so I just did not know what to do. And so last minute I decided that it would just be an instrumental and that would be fine. And it seems like people enjoy it. I don't think people hate it. Anyway, the reason that it goes on for just a little bit too long is because in the verse sections, I extended them so that because I thought I would need a lot of room to sing verses, and I didn't change it back before I actually released the thing. So when the verse sections, which are, the like this, but the section that we were just on that we're now not on, the one before this one, those verse sections, I extended those to have more room for verses. But again, I had no idea what I was doing, and so I realized that was actually way too long for verses, and I did not end up trying to go back and change it. And so now it's just like a little bit too long, and so, it's not my favorite. I have a soft spot for it, although I also don't like it to an extent. Like, there is a degree of not liking of this track because I don't think it's mine. Like, most of this entire song is built off BandLab samples, like from BandLab, and it just feels like putting together a puzzle more than it feels like creating a song, and I don't feel like this is mine. So, not my favorite, but I don't hate it either. And so it ends. Honey! I like Honey. Honey is the second song I wrote in wrote in quotations, more like put together in like the Little Rose era. And what I really like about this song is that everything just felt like it came together. Everything just flowed together, kind of like honey, And so I got that first sample, the boom, 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 and then I just put everything else together, and there were so many samples that I found that just fit, and it all just came together so beautifully, and I just loved that, and I felt like it was so catchy, and, all of those good things. And then it comes to the second section to give it a bit of variation. I just really like how this turned out. I really like how groovy it is. I really like how wompy it is. I don't know if that's a word, but like wompy. That's how I would describe this song as wompy. I like it. I like how it turned out. What else do I have to say? This was another beat that I sent to Nico. So Nikosu, artist on YouTube. You can find a lot of his music on YouTube. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll show it off and whatnot. Anyway, this was a beat that I showed him, and so he gave me some ideas of things to maybe modify, and I did follow his advice. And I do think that his advice helped the song, so I'm grateful that he was willing to help with that. But yeah, like, again, this is just, I really like this song. I enjoy it. Let me think, is there anything else I have to say about this song? Here we are going back to the first section for kind of a reprise, I guess you could say. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this. Like, everything just came together beautifully, and there really wasn't much I changed after that. Like, I sat down, made it, and then it was just done, basically. And here we have the build-up, because I felt like it needed something a little bit more different in the middle. Like, I didn't want to just do the same beat looping over and over. And so this build-up here, I came up with to, you know, give it a little bit more excitement, you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, like I said, you know, I sat down, I put together the samples, I made the honey beats, and like, that song that I made in that first sitting is remarkably similar to the one I made now. Like, it is, I did not refine this much at all. It was just really good from the get-go, and that's why I really like this song. But yeah, that's Honey for you. Alright, hey. Alright. This is an interesting, this one has a story. So this was originally a song called Heed, H-E-D-E. Very different song. Very moody, kind of Western ballad. And I worked on it a bit. I worked on the beat a bit. And I was talking in the Discord, and I believe it was Mig who pointed out that one of my Beach Brothers songs, Yeah Yeah Yeah, backwards, and I think he put it in reverse, and so it was kind of like hey 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 or something, and I liked that, and so I thought that kind of sounded similar to hey hey hey, and so I took that original moody Western beat and I tried to work on it a bit more, and this time I renamed it to hey hey hey, and I couldn't really find a lot of good samples for a moody Western ballad, and so I ended up doing something a lot more lighthearted when I found these 12-string samples, and so it took a much more lighthearted approach. I like how this one turned out. I like this. To me, like, this reminds me of And You and I by Yes. Like, as far as instrumentation and like the simplicity of it, it kind of feels kind of folky, like parts of And You and I by Yes. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. That was what I was trying to do. Oh, and then we get to the synth part, the end of the synth part. So why add that? Well, so that it can better transition into this song, Waves. I felt like this needed a little bit of a smoother transition. That's actually where the song started. That's actually where it came from, is I was making Hey Hey Hey, and I added the synthy, like, warped outro, and I thought, this has got to lead into something, and so I came up with the original beat for Waves. And this is my favorite of the Honey songs, I'm not gonna lie. This has got to be my favorite, because just like Honey, it came together so well. It was just like, it was like the creative spirit was taking over and just giving me this banger, and I love it. And it's got like different sections and stuff, so that kind of came from Sicko Mode. I was inspired by Sicko Mode, and I liked how that had 3 different sections, and I wanted to kind of do something like that. So you had the first section, which was like the boom 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 boom, and then you have this more ambient section with the drums coming in. I just really like that. I really like the idea of, you know, multiple sections that are kind of different from each other in a song, if that makes sense at all. But yeah, like a lot like with Honey, this just came together in the one session that I did, and it all fell into place, and it was just beautiful. And I just like, mwah, chef's kiss. That's all I have to say about that. And then we come to like the third section, which has this I don't even know what you would call it. I think it's a synth. I'm not sure. I like it though, so I put it in, and then pretty soon we're gonna get to the techno synth. I call it a techno synth. I went to BandLab. I looked in the library, and I looked up. I think it was retrowave synth, and I actually got a really good sample of a single note being played, and so I used the pitch shifter to pitch it up and down to make it kind of into a melody, which is how I made this. Drums come back. These drums aren't samples. These are, well, they are samples. It's just that I arranged them, I guess, instead of picking a pre-arranged sample from the library. And I like how this one turned out. I just like a lot of things about this song, to be honest. It's really, I think it's really a jam, and I feel like unlike Honey, and the reason that I prefer this over Honey is because it kind of has this progression to it, just like this section coming up. And I thought, you know what, why not do this big cinematic outro for the EP? And so I made it, and I'll be honest, while I like it, I don't know if it fits very well with the EP. I feel like it might be a bit too cinematic, a bit too big, but I enjoy it. I think it's cool. I think it does the job, and I like it. Just overall, really solid project. I'm gonna keep making more. I'm working on my second one now. Peace out, gents.